Hello, I'm Rachel Moger with Healthy Cooking Tips, and today we're going to talk about something that's one of my family favorite things to make during a very busy week, tacos. And in fact, we even call it Taco Tuesday, so that I can get all my taco making done. I can figure it out for the week and go, okay, Tuesday's coming, I gotta have everything ready to go. So for my tacos, this is gonna be so super simple. You guys can totally do this one at home. In fact, I have some other cooking tips on how to make the chicken, so we'll get to that in a minute. But first of all, we're just gonna start with some basic ingredients. We're gonna use some pre-cooked chicken, and I've already boiled that, so all I have to do is shred it. We're gonna put some onions and some bell peppers and some garlic, and of course some amazing taco seasoning. You can use a taco seasoning of your choice. I'm gonna be using Organic Harvest blends today. And let's just throw this together and see how fast you can do this in your kitchen. We're gonna start with an onion. For my onions, I always chop off the ends. And then I give them a slice down the middle, and that way I can peel them really simple, just like that. And you know, they say, if you want to avoid your, you know how your onions make you, make your eyes water up or make you cry, basically you need a sharp knife to avoid that, because it's the oils in the skins that get released, and if you're nice dull, you're just kind of mushing through that. So get a nice sharp knife, and you will have less issues with the crying with onions. So I cut them in half, peel them of course, cut them in half, and then I'm just going to go ahead and slice through them, turn them around, and dice the other way. Super fast and simple. Of course, when you're chopping, you want to make sure that you're careful not to get those fingers. This is a pretty good sized onion, so rather than a whole onion, I'm only going to use 3/4 of it, because I only need about a cup, and this is a healthy cup here. All right, we're going to chop up our bell pepper next. And for the bell peppers, this is so simple. This is how you do it. You just pop off the lid, like so. See how the insides are there? You're going to pull out the seeds, and sometimes you just kind of need to give it a little smacking, a little smack down. There we go. Okay, got the seeds out. And then now we can use this to chop up. And I always just slice it in half. And then I'm going to make some more slices across the bell pepper like so. And of course, right about now, my kids normally come up and steal a couple. Me too. And then we're going to go just like we did the onion. Now we're going across it. And that's how you can quickly dice things up in your kitchen. Now we're going to go ahead and use our fresh garlic, and you can just pop these off, these little cloves of garlic. These will sit on your counter for a good couple months before they start to grow. But you can use 1 or 2 cloves of garlic, and then you can either cut them up yourself, and to do that you'll want to just kind of release the skin, the outer part on here, like so. See how easy that is to peel? And then you can chop this up nice and small. You can mince it. Of course, now I said nice and easy, and this one doesn't want to come off. There we go. I know I could get it. And then you can slice these and mince it by hand, or you can use, you know, a cool little mincer. If you're going to do it by hand, you'll want to press down, okay, and then you're going to go across your garlic nice and thin. And this is how we're mincing it up. We're going to slice it thin one direction and then the other. Kind of the same thing we've done with our onions and our bell peppers. And then you go back across it, and you get that nice little chunks. And if you want to be even smaller, you know, you can go ahead and dice that up a couple more times. Or you can use a garlic press, which is what I tend to do when I'm busy in the kitchen. So this one is a Pampered Chef garlic press. I do like my Pampered Chef products. All you Pampered Chef reps out there, thank you. I like this one. Okay, you just press it down. So that was cool. We had to just put that whole clove of garlic in there, and we didn't have to deal with the skin because the skin stays behind. So what I like to do is I like to kind of shred my chicken, and these are chicken thighs, and we're just gonna chop these up like so. But then if you like to give it that shredded look, you can kind of pull your knife and see how it's kind of pulling apart there. That's how that works. You can also use a fork and shred this way. So I like using a nice heavy cast iron skillet, and I like to heat my pan up first before I put the oil in. And we're just going to put about a tablespoon of olive oil in, and we're going to start sauteing the vegetables that we already diced up. So get your oil in your pan, go ahead and circle it around, and then you're going to add in the onions first. And I like to add in the onions first because I like to let them cook a little bit, saute a little bit, and they kind of caramelize and get nice and sweet. It brings out a really nice flavor. So we'll let that go for maybe just a minute or two, and then we're going to add in our bell peppers. So you can see how the onions are kind of starting to turn a little translucent. Now we have the bell pepper, and you're going to continue to saute that just for another couple minutes. And you can put the garlic in if you want right now. I like to wait a minute because I really like strong fresh garlic. And so I'm going to let this cook for just another minute or two and add in the garlic. Okay, so we let that cook for just a couple minutes, and now we're going to add in our garlic. And again, I'm just going to let that go for another minute or two, just so the flavors get all blended in there together. Okay, so we've got our shredded chicken, and we're going to go ahead and put that in. And that's probably about, you know, it's a good 6 cups of meat, maybe 3 chicken breasts, 6 or 6 thighs would do the trick. So I have my Harvest Blends taco seasoning, and I'm going to add in maybe 2 tablespoons and stir that around. Now, if you really like the flavor of taco, you know, a nice strong bold flavor, you can go with about 3 tablespoons, which is me. I like it to be nice and bold, flavorful, and spicy. And I'm using the organic Harvest Blends just because I know all the ingredients in there are good and yummy and fresh. And you're going to stir that up, and it's going to seem a little bit dry, and that's okay, because while you're stirring in your taco seasoning, whichever brand you're using, you're releasing the oils in that seasoning as it's heating up in the pan. And those flavors are just kind of all starting to pull together. Really super yummy. If you could smell this, you'd be like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. And it is amazing. Okay, now that we've stirred this a little bit, then we're going to add in a little bit of liquid. Now you can use water, you can use chicken broth, or you can use beer. Beer adds a nice flavor, and the alcohol in that would cook off, so you wouldn't have to worry about that. Since I boiled chicken earlier, I happen to have some chicken broth. Again, water is just fine. Vegetable broth is just fine. We're just going to add a little bit of moisture. Maybe just a couple tablespoons to a 1/4 cup. And you can always add more in later as you let it cook. And this just keeps the meat nice and moist. So we've finished cooking our taco meat, and now we're ready to put together our tacos, according to, of course, however you like it. So I have a few different choices out here. You can find yourself some organic corn tortillas. Perhaps you like the soft shell flour, or maybe you're trying to stay away from the carbs and you want to go with a lettuce wrap, which is something that we like to do. And I know some people make cheese wraps too, but this is a romaine lettuce that works pretty nice, or you can use a butter lettuce. The thing with the butter lettuce is that it is pretty easy to tear, so you may want to make sure that you use 1 or 2 pieces, or bring a fork with your plate, because you're probably going to make a mess. So those are your different choices. And of course, in my house, we're going to assemble our tacos straight from the pan because it's nice and hot. And I usually like a little raw organic cheddar cheese on top of that, maybe some onions, and we're going to add in some lovely tomatoes, little bit of cilantro, and voila, you're ready to go. And I always like to add my avocado very last because I don't like to let it sit and get brown. I just nice little thin slices, or of course my son's famous guacamole, Ashton's guacamole, which my daughter reminded me the other day started with her recipe. It's a hand-me-down recipe. Or like we're doing here, some fresh avocado slices. And that is pretty much how we like to eat our tacos in my house. Look at these. I can't even they're all chunky and big. Super phenomenal flavor. I think you're going to really love the flavor of the Harvest Blends taco seasoning. Just if you're purchasing your own, make sure you're really careful. Look at the back of that label and get all good healthy stuff, because boy, this is just looking amazing. It smells good. You're going to enjoy this. Your family's going to love it. We'll see you next time.